to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Mikey Bowers, vocalist for the band Pale Ache. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated crew? On this episode, I'm joined by Mikey from Pale Ache. I don't know if you know this, but when you type ache into a lot of phones, it autocorrects to acne. Did you know that?
That's been following me for years. Like, do you have it, dude? It's so hard to like creep your own band online, and when you type in the name, and the only thing that comes up is like videos of people popping zits and like acne cream sold by like Michael Cera and shit. Like,
dude, I mean, put respect on the Scott Pilgrim, but yeah, the man does have acne.
The man's an expert. The man's an expert.
I only say that we were in the Bruiserweight chat the other day, and somebody put Pale Ache, like typed out Pale Ache, but it autocorrected to Pale Acne.
That sounds like a deadly disease. Like, you don't want that shit to be pale. Like if that's pale, you got bigger issues than Michael Cera can fix.
Yeah, it's like extra white people problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you're so white, even your acne's pale.
Like, I don't even want to dive into the graphic.
We're off to a great start.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm up. The sky is blue. The sun is shining in beautiful Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's cold as shit, and I'm very tired. Yeah.
Is it like a day when the lobsters walk up on the shore and they clickety clack their little claws and sing the lobster song?
That's every single day, buddy. The Maritimes are a beautiful place. Lobsters come up. Theodore Tugboat like runs ashore, goes and gets like Donair pogos at like Randy's.
Okay, that was just the most maritime sentence I've ever heard.
Oh yeah.
You just said Donair pogos in a sentence together.
Did my man just say Donair?
How did you say it?
Donair, bro.
Come on,
Donair.
man. This is crazy. Donair. Okay. This is a question that I have later on.
Yeah.
Let's not dive too much into it. I just can't believe that you said that word and pogos right after each other.
Oh, I got crazy news for you later then.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. What coffee are you drinking?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I am drinking the best of the best, President's Choice West Coast dark roast. It's gourmet. It says gourmet on the tin, you know.
Yeah, on the tin.
On the tin.
Is it pre-ground? It's pre-ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Mr.
no
Coffee
idea.
Or
okay. So I did. It's not like you don't like put it in there and stir it. So like that's the good news. I got that. Like I got that part right.
Okay.
But I'll tell you the last like 3 days, ever since I knew I was going to be doing this, I've been thinking about it in my head. I'm like, at some point I'm going to have to break the news that I'm drinking President's Choice coffee, and like they might just the call might just get hung up like on site.
I strive to not be an elitist. That's my mantra. I feel, having this podcast, building bridges, you know, not being an elitist. But you've been expecting for 3 days the conversation of President's Choice. How far away is Dartmouth from where you are right now?
I'm in Dartmouth.
Okay. How far away is what's the name of that coffee shop that have fun?
Good luck.
Like
Sonny's place?
Yes. How far is Sonny's place?
So listen, I'm digging myself deeper here. And before I tell you how far away it is, I need you to understand it snowed a lot.
Okay.
The sidewalks are clear, but it still snowed a lot.
Okay.
It is. I'm gonna say 10 minutes.
Boss. I
I'm
woke
gonna say
up.
10 minutes.
I woke up this morning.
Mhm.
I also had expecting this call for a few days. I opened my cupboard to make a new coffee.
Yeah.
And realized that I don't have a new coffee.
No.
So guess how long I had to walk this morning to get a new coffee? It was around 10
11
minutes.
minutes.
It was
11
around 10 minutes. It, granted, not so snowy, right? Because we've been in a snow drought, but it is like -10. I mean,
You're
but I feel you.
you're painting a very
I'm
a
sorry.
very a
I don't
very
mean to.
that's, you know what, it's on me. It's on me.
It's okay.
I knew this was going to happen, and I still said, listen, I got coffee in the cupboard.
Yeah, there you go. There's grace,
It's
there's mercy. It covers a multitude of sins. But
it's not Maxwell House. I feel like I mean, it's not that far off, but like at least it's not Maxwell House.
my question is, why is there a brand only in Canada? We don't have it in the States. It's only in Canada called President's Choice. Why is it President's Choice?
You say we don't have it in the, you live in the States?
I'm from the States.
You're from the States?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Georgia.
That's badass.
It's not.
No,
No.
no, it's not sick.
Why do you think I'm a Canadian permanent resident now?
I said, you know what? Fair play, actually. Fair play. See, I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. I mean, but like, you know, it's like, it's not cool like you're saying, but like, but it's like, it's weird because like I'm going to the States for like the first time in my life in like 3 weeks. And to me, that's like the most exciting thing ever. I'm like, oh my God, I'm leaving the country. But then like you talk to anybody who's like from the States, they're like, no, fuck it, turn around.
No,
Like,
it's where you're going is good.
It's good.
You're going to like Canada Light is what I would call it.
Canada Light.
Yeah. Maine, awesome state. I fucking love Maine. I've been twice in my life, did road trips up the East Coast. Beautiful, beautiful state. Crazy beautiful state. Like it's like an extension of Nova Scotia. Let's just make it new Nova Scotia. Like, might as well.
I've been hearing conflicting reports of a very important question I have. Do they have menthols in Maine?
I do not know. I haven't. That's a great question. I can tell you where they do have menthols, and that's Georgia.
Oh fuck. Okay, and you're not selling me on going to Georgia, so maybe.
Well, I mean, Atlanta's cool. My hometown, Savannah, is cool, but like everywhere in between is just it's a crapshoot.
When did you leave there?
2018.
2018. So that's math. 8,
6 years
9,
ago.
10, 6. Yeah, 6 years ago.
Definitely ain't 10, boss.
10 years ago. That's sick.
They've got menthols in. Are you going to Mass?
Yes.
They have menthols there for sure. There are some ratchet people in Massachusetts, and they can't take the menthols away yet.
They can. Yeah, they were the unrest in the streets. Menthols, take it away.
Because
I'm losing my mind.
You're a Siggy person.
I unfortunately am. Like it sucks ass, and it's like literally the worst habit you can possibly have on the face of the planet. But I started hacking darts when I was like 16 or some stupid shit because I was 16 and also coincidentally stupid.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, now I can't walk upstairs reliably. And I'm just like, no, this is fine. This is how everybody feels. I'm sure it's not, by the way.
When you hit 30, it's just a natural feeling.
You know, I'm 27 now, and like I'm at this like stage now where I feel like stuff hasn't started hurting yet, but I can feel where it's gonna.
Yeah.
In like 3 years.
It will be hurting.
Like my knees crack in a way they never used to. And that's not good, right? Like,
no, do you work out? Do you gym?
I am. I mean, oh, I wish.
Like just
Like,
just like not even heavy duty. Just go do cardio like 3 times a week. Like just a nice little brisk, little,
little little
little jaunt.
jog,
Yeah.
little jaunt.
Like
Yeah.
little jaunt. Yeah. Um, it'll help, I promise. Cause I worked out solid for like I did boxing for like over a year.
Hmm.
And I regret not continuing because I now everything hurts from when I was boxing. So now I'm having to like work out again.
Work out again and get back into it like later on after like a dip would say like
Like a
that
year dip.
sounds
Yeah,
a year dip.
I had an injury. I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh, I guess I can start lifting weights.
Yeah. No, what was your injury?
I have it's called a boxer's fracture, but I fractured like this knuckle, like these two knuckles here on my
Okay.
pinky and ring finger. And I was at a show
Oh, yeah.
and I swung. It was actually seeing when I was seeing, and I did a backswing and I connected with my friend's elbow and fractured it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then I went back to boxing too early and refractured it.
that sucks.
So
That
now I'm
so that's
scared.
that's a bummer. So that's what took you out of it.
I had to stop playing drums for like 6 months.
You're a drummer.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Go
So
wada,
that's why I
wada.
do vocals now.
You just yell. Yeah, I mean it's a
I
lot more
ain't gotta
fun.
hit shit anymore. I can make people be violent.
The power of the world in your fingertips. I have like a giant park like directly behind my apartment building that for the past I've been in this building for like 4 years, and every
Mhm.
time I go outside I look at that park back there and I'm like, yeah, man, a lot of trails on that you could run on. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside now. Like,
Sit in front of a computer
so,
for 6 hours.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna sit in front of this fucking giant. I don't even have like a computer monitor. I have like an old like 32-inch like TV sitting
Yeah.
on like the shittiest desk you've ever seen in your life, and I'm just like right up on it for like 8 hours a day. And I'm like, yeah, man, I can see everything perfectly fine. I
Yeah.
feel great. My body is healthy.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes when I breathe in too hard, there's a whistling sound. Anyway, that's like so.
I I'll tell you what I'm drinking.
Tell me.
Um, President's Choice. No, I'm just kidding.
Fuck yes, man. Another one.
Uh, it's not in a tin. It's in a like a bag. I have something from Escape. I
Hmm.
will be very frank. I've had a coffee from this roaster before, and I spit it out.
Okay.
It was not good. I did not
Hmm.
like it. I don't know what happened, but this one is there. It's called Cottage.
Hmm.
It's a Colombian coffee, and it is a like pink bourbon is the variety of the coffee. So it's very, very like kind of fruity forward, like citrus forward.
Okay.
So it tastes like caramel and pomelo,
Ooh.
which sounds like the name of an R&B singer to me. So smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah, it's good.
That sounds delicious. I mean,
I'm not mad at it.
you're not mad
Honestly,
at it.
it's a redeeming cup.
Sometimes that's how it goes. There's I listen, I wasn't always a slave to the President's Choice game. I that's a recent a recent downward trend in my life.
Is it a budget
And
thing or is it like a?
yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like it's so fuck yeah. Like um but that's like sometimes that's how it goes. Like there's like places downtown Dartmouth, downtown Halifax and shit like that that I thought for years that I didn't like, whether it was like acidity or just general taste or whatever. Like I thought I didn't like them, but it turned out the whole time I was just having the wrong one.
Hmm.
Keep an open mind. Go back.
It's true.
Go back.
Try other things.
Try other things.
It's it. It's one of the tenets of life.
Amen.
Variety is the
Amen.
spice.
Variety is the spice of yeah, cool. Yeah. Yes.
Speaking of spice, what the fuck
Talk
is
to
a
me.
Donair? What is that?
Okay, okay. Okay. I want to set the record straight on a couple things. With the Donair. It is not a shawarma.
Okay.
That a lot of the times, like bands from away, when we like we'll bring them down and shit like that, or just like people from away will come down. Um, I think I said LA. I don't know. But people from away will come down, and it is like day one, night one after the gig. You go and get Donairs. It's tradition in these parts. Like it has to be done. It's an integral part of the experience.
Hmm.
And everyone always thinks it's going to be like a beef shawarma or just like a pita wrap
Hmm.
with like the shaved beef and like raw onions and shit like that. So essentially what it is in okay, granted, yes, it is a pita wrap. It is the shaved beef. No, 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 I'm losing you, but I'm
It's the
losing you.
sauce is the
It's
determining.
the sauce, brother.
Right.
Like
Okay.
it is the sauce. It's like this weird, it's like a garlic condensed milk, like sweet sauce,
Okay.
basically, that goes on top of the whole thing. Like some people get it on the side, but I think those people are not to be trusted.
No.
No, not to be
Commit.
trusted.
Commit.
And also just like the is like the corporatization of the Halifax Donair is a travesty. So like you have like places like Domino's and shit like that. Like Domino's comes to Halifax and they're like, yo, we got the Donair now. And you're like, okay, so
Why?
let's try out this like fucking fast food chain Donair. And one of the pillars, and I actually blame a very famous Canadian chef who will remain nameless.
I know who it is. I was gonna bring
You,
him up.
yeah, I blame this person solely for the bastardization of Donair sauce because the Donair sauce they make in that video is like the superstore Donair sauce. Like you or like oh, do you got superstore out there? You guys have like Loblaws, right? Like that's
It's called Provigo, but it's the same.
okay, yeah, yeah. But it's like the grocery store Donair sauce that comes in the squeeze bottle. Like
Hmm.
the most important piece of the Donair sauce to me is that you cannot see through it. You cannot see through it. It is a completely opaque, just it's really more like a paste than it is like a liquid, you know? Like,
Right.
and it's got chunks of shit in it. You don't know what the chunks are.
What are
You
the
don't care
chunks?
what the chunks. You don't. It doesn't matter what the chunks are, brother, because those it doesn't matter as long.
Okay. So I'm getting this. It's the garlic. It's the sweet. But it has the consistency of a tzatziki sauce.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Almost
Actually.
somewhere between like a yogurt mayo consistency.
Yeah. I like that description actually,
Okay.
and I like that description, and you'll see because we're going for Donairs. We're 100% going for Donairs in like 3 weeks or some shit like that.
Right.
But or it's longer than that. But whatever. But
I'll be honest with you. We have some Donair haters, and we may have one or two.
I want names.
I can't name names. I can't.
Okay.
I
That's
can't. I
okay.
can't be doxing people like that. But
No. No. No.
I'll tell you, there's a couple that you may have to convince.
I may have to have a word with.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, it's because they're like, oh, shawarma. They're
Talking about. Like, this is what I'm saying, brother. Like there's it.
listen. I'm not so culturally unattached that I can't appreciate the difference between like some things because of a sauce. You know what I mean? I understand.
The sauce is kind of a like a polarizing thing, eh?
Right.
Like it could go either direction. Like I understand that like sometimes we bring people down and we describe it to them and they have it for the first time after thinking it sounded gross and they're like, "Oh, okay, no, this is like the dopest shit in the world. Thank you so much.
Right.
This is iconic, legendary, biblical fucking thing that I'm having right now."
Slightly,
Um,
but yeah,
yeah.
kind of biblical. It's from the Bible times, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
not actually.
100%, 100%. Um, and some people are like physically repulsed by the sweetness of it. And I understand that.
Hmm.
I get that 100%.
So
Food is subjective.
yeah, I'm a Euro guy.
But
I love Euros.
I can buy into that.
So if it's in Euro territory,
Oh
and
yeah.
Euro, I'm saying gyro for people who don't know how to pronounce Euro, um, who don't know their Greek alphabet. I feel there are similarities, but I'm open. You know what I mean? It's about openness.
They're parallel. They're parallel things, like 100%. Like but here's the crazy thing. So if you don't want the wrap, you don't want because the one thing about Donairs is they're messy beyond belief. Like
Yeah,
you won't even believe it. Guess what?
make a
They
bowl.
they they figured out a solution to this. You got Donair egg rolls.
Whoa!
You got Donair pogos.
Wait,
You got
so it's like the pogo filling is
yeah oh
the
yeah yeah.
beef, and you dip it in the sauce.
Oh yeah, yes sir, you do. Yeah.
All right,
Oh
all right,
yeah.
all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, we may. This will be good. This is gonna be good. I was
It's
already
gonna be
looking
fun.
forward. I was already looking forward to this Maritimes situation.
Maritimes are awesome. You're coming at a good time
Yeah,
too. Like
springtime.
springtime is yeah, like time of year is one thing as well, but also just like from like a music perspective, you're coming at a good time because it's had this like I don't know what happened or like why or where all these people came from, but like but I do like straight up like there's a dark era. And not to say that there weren't like awesome bands. Like I think of like shout out like Bonesaw, shout out Barlow, shout out Weed Thief, shout out a million others, shout out Bawfly. They were rocking back then too, like in the dark era, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
2015 through to like 2019 sort of years where you couldn't fucking pay people to come to shows. Like
Yeah,
you couldn't like there was no nobody coming to these gigs. It was the same bands on every gig because it was the only bands we had. And it was, it was still fun, to be a part of. But when the whole, COVID thing happened, that little thing, there was like, it was strange to think, in like, in these maritime cities that do have these such like small population bases that are like small towns to most people, but they're like our
right.
major cities and shit like that. Um,
Like
like
separating Dartmouth and Halifax. It's like
separating
this.
Dartmouth, like Halifax. I think about like Moncton is like 100,000, and that's like small town territory to some people, which is wild to me.
That's
Like
how big my hometown was. 100,000.
you see, like I agree with you. I don't think that's small town, but
Put
some
100,000
people
people together in a room and tell me that's small.
straight up, yeah. Like you go to like the Metallica show, and there's 100,000 people singing "For Whom the Bell Tolls." That's
A
a
lot of
lot of
people.
people
It's a lot of
singing "For Whom
people.
the Bell Tolls," brother. But anyway, so COVID happened, and like you weren't sure like which side the coin was going to land on. Like this is either going to be like a complete bust, or this is this is going to pick back up again because there was sort of like I'm going to say a hunger, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
like to do anything really. And I mentioned Bawfly, shout out Bawfly because they were the first ones to really come back.
Okay.
They did when Lower Than Love came out. They did a record release at Radstorm that I didn't even end up being able to go to because again, no one was really sure how this was going to go. Doors opened at like 8 or something like that. I was going to get there for like 9, and I ended up not being able to go at all because it sold out like instantaneously. Like it was just capacity immediately.
They wouldn't sneak you to the back
And
door.
yes, Rad, you'll understand why when you get there. Radstorm is like it's the smallest little room. Like you can fit probably like 100 people or something in there, but like
Sick.
the floor in that place, when you like put more than 100 people, feels sketchy. Like it feels like it might give out.
Sick.
So like,
That's my favorite.
oh, it's dope. It's dope. It's also the only like all ages venue we really have in Halifax right now. And ever since like the Botfly gig, that was like the big, like it hit capacity like almost immediately. And every gig afterwards, just you're waiting for the fall off and it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Which is wild for a place again, because like I understand, not just me, but we all understand that Halifax is a far the fuck away from anything else that is on anyone's radar, and B, like it is kind of a small market, right? But I think that the state of things the last like few years has been encouraging more people to come down. So like you guys are coming down, and we were talking to like Prowl, like they've been here twice now.
Yep.
And it's just more people, like people feel more inclined to actually take the risk, whereas before it was, you can take that gamble, and like it's not like we had all bad shows or anything like that. Like there were plenty of amazing shows that I have really great memories of from that dark era that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always a gamble, but that gamble doesn't really feel as high stakes anymore. Like it's you're more likely to have a good time here than a bad time now, which is crazy to me, at least.
I mean, that's what everybody's been saying. Like I talk with Keegan pretty regularly. Shout out. Also, no shout out to Botfly, and I'll tell you why. It has to do with one person.
Oh no.
Apparently Babs is not going to be in Halifax.
I have great news for you.
Oh.
Babs lives in Moncton.
Oh.
So Babs is going to be at the Moncton show.
Okay.
Presumably.
Okay. All right, that's fine then. Shout out Botfly.
Botfly's back on the menu.
I wish that we, like, honestly, if Bonesaw was ever going to do a reunion, that would have been the week that I would have chosen for them to do.
Oh, buddy, was Bonesaw. Well, first of all, I missed that band, and second of all, that's a band that I didn't think reach out that far.
I only know because I know Babs, and then
because of Babs.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, I was in Bonesaw," and I was like, "Bonesaw is ready," and then I listened to their.
That was like the brother band for a while. Like it felt like for a couple of years there, like back when like Pale Lake was like first starting, and we were kind of more like sort of fast, like hardcore leaning, like less like the metal shit. It felt like we were playing with Bonesaw. Like every gig was a Bonesaw gig. So that's probably like one of the bands in Halifax I've seen the most actually in my life. Like, yeah.
But yeah, very excited. Keegan has been like juicing it up. It's gonna be sick. I've never been that far east.
Really?
The farthest I've been is like Bar Harbor, Maine.
Okay.
So
is it all your guys' first time coming up this way?
No, John was in Mundy's Bay. I think they went to Halifax once or twice.
Okay.
And then I think Ryan, I don't know if Deadbolt played Halifax, but I think Ryan's been out that way before. He definitely went to PEI. Not PEI. He went to
Newfoundland. Yeah,
yes.
Deadbolt did the Newfoundland gigs.
Yes.
Not that much before we did Newfoundland for the first time, like in like November, October, or something like that. And actually, I completely forgot about this, but I'm going to bring this up because I think you'll find this really awesome. Newfoundland is the scene in Newfoundland for like kind of more like moshy kind of power violence, almost, and just like straight up hardcore is maybe one of the best like hardcore scenes in the entirety of Atlantic Canada. They are out of their minds in Newfoundland. They're awesome. And
shout out Bazooka.
Shout out Bazooka. Shout out Glitter Glue. Gnarl. Shout out Gnarl. Shout out Chokeslam. Shout out Smoke Signals.
I don't even know Chokeslam. That's
Chokeslam. Dude, shout out like all these bands. And we played a gig at this venue called the Rock House, and we played with that band Gnarl.
Mhm.
And we'd never met them before. Um, but it immediately caught my eye as soon as they walk in because I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, yo, that kid's wearing a Bruiserweight shirt. This we just sat on a boat for 6 hours and then drove for another 12 hours to the only major city on this giant rock of a province, and that kid's wearing a Bruiserweight shirt. I'm like,
So there's a story behind this.
okay.
From the Newfoundland gig,
Hmm.
Ryan comes back and goes, "Yo, I get there and those kids are asking me if I brought Bruiserweight merch."
Really?
And then some of them, I think the dudes from Gnarl came to Hold Your Ground,
Yes.
but
They did tell me about that.
they couldn't go to the pre-show because it wasn't all ages and like one of them is
Uh
17.
yeah.
They couldn't make it to the pre-show, but they wanted to buy merch. So we had to bring merch the next day, like to sell basically out of the trunk of the car so that they could
Okay.
take a bunch of shirts back to Newfoundland. And I think we
That's
also ended up shipping like some tapes and stuff out to the guys in St. John.
yeah, they're the like that group of kids like in that scene are like maybe the best. They're the only people I've ever seen like whoop ass like the way that people whoop ass like in Montreal, like just on this rock in the middle of the ocean, and they're so like you want to talk about like hungry for shows like that. They're so disconnected from everything, and you don't like Newfoundland. You understand that it's like out of the way, but like once you actually get there, it hits you that like, oh shit, no, they're like they are out here,
Yeah.
and it's
They have
still
internet.
like
No, I'm just
it's
kidding.
in some places they do, some places they don't. You know, it depends on what side of the city you're on, or like where the closest McDonald's is. You can
Yeah.
probably catch the Wi-Fi off the Mickey's, but like that's
Duty Don's Wi-Fi.
yeah, get the Dawn's Wi-Fi. But dude, they're awesome up there. Shout out Newfoundland. It's like my favorite one of obviously my favorite team in Atlantic Canada is fucking Halifax, but number two would probably be like
Yeah.
Newfoundland. Like they're awesome out there.
The dudes that we met were so nice and it was cool because like they were moshing, but you could tell like some of it was like kind of overwhelming because Toronto is crazy. Like people like Toronto mosh is very scary.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then yeah, then they got big Ontario boys. But by the end of the fest, you could see like they had picked up some of the moves too, which I love watching.
Watching those kids mosh in Newfoundland was awesome because exactly what you're describing. Like you could tell that they like they'd done their homework, you know, like
Yeah,
they had been standing at the edge of the pit at Hold Your Ground with like a pen and paper, and they were like, all right, it's my time right now.
yeah.
I'm not trying to make fun of them. I actually really love those.
No, it's dope.
I
Like
love all their bands too. Like their bands are awesome.
I feel like that's what makes a great scene is like when people from a smaller city or a smaller scene go to like a fest or something where there is like crazy moshing. Like a bunch of people went to Tie Down and then came back to like Montreal, Toronto, Ontario and stuff.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they started moshing like Detroit style, which is nah, like
Deadly.
basically like gang violence. And
Oh
then
God.
and then they start trying to throw down like that in Montreal. And it's funny because when one or two people do it, it's kind of like an enable moment where then
Yeah, yeah,
everybody else is like, "Oh, I can do that," and then they
yeah.
just start throwing down as hard.
It's in the cards. Yeah,
It's great.
it's in the
Um,
cards. It's okay.
I love that shit. So, but yeah, I mean that's like I understand what you're saying about places being far and economically sometimes it's very difficult. Like just to give people perspective, like this is a new thing for me because I'm used to driving 4 hours to like Atlanta and that's like
Hmm.
a big show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like we have to leave at like 5 or 6 p.m. the night before the show, drive 6 hours, sleep at a town in New Brunswick, and then
Yep.
get up, drive another 6 hours the next day to
Yep.
Halifax. Like
Yep.
that's how far it is.
Yep. The first time I ever played out of the Maritimes was a festival that Sienna from Gasm, shout out Gasm, used to put on called Cool Move in 2019.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever been to Montreal, and that's the first time, certainly the first time I'd ever driven out of the Maritimes. And growing up, you don't you don't really like growing up in Nova Scotia, that is. Like it sometimes it's really difficult. Like obviously you're out of the way, but it's like, well, it's just like if they just kept driving, no, motherfucker. Like that drive, um like the first time I went really put into perspective like why it's such a difficult thing for a lot of people to want to take a risk on, which is why I'm super grateful that now the risk is actually like, paying off and it's actually worth it. And I'm also
Right.
just grateful for any band that actually is about it enough to go like, hey, uh, like we are going to make that drive all the way out to Halifax. And when we do make it out to Halifax, like we know it's going to be worth it because Halifax gets so few bands that like bands that do come to Halifax kind of gets like attached to them
Mm-hmm.
in like a really interesting way where it doesn't matter if you're like the biggest band in the world or something like that. It's like if you took the time to come to Halifax, how the city's way of like showing gratitude for that is like riding for that band.
Right.
Like every time you come through, your shows are just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because it means a lot to like all of us whenever that happens. And it means a lot to us that you guys are coming down because like it's, I mean, it's going to be fun as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be sick. And when you guys reached out and y'all were like, oh, y'all want to do a run, I don't think there's very many bands that we would be like, yes.
Dude, I'm gonna be real with you. We were in the Pale chat, just like brainstorming, just like tossing out names of bands, and the first name we tossed out was Bruiserweight, um, because obviously, like obviously we're gonna want to ask Bruiserweight, but we like days after we hadn't hit you guys up yet because we were thinking to ourselves like there's no fucking shot they're gonna say yeah to this. There's no way, there's no way that Bruiserweight would actually want to do this. So when we hit you guys up and it was immediately like, yeah, let's do it. It was I hit the chat. I'm like, yo, like, am I reading this right?
Well,
They
like
want to do this?
whenever y'all sent it and like, I think Alec or somebody, shared a screenshot and we were like, I mean, if there's any band that it's going to have great shows everywhere in the Maritimes, we're like, this is the band to do it with. And I don't even think anybody
Well, that
was
means a
even
lot.
hesitant.
Oh,
I think everybody was
that's
basically like,
crazy.
yeah, let's do it. Like, it's going to be a cool show because it's like very hardcore. And then it's like very metalcore.
Oh yeah.
And then you put it together, you make
That's
hard
that's
metalcore.
that's the greatest like combination of bands on shows like probably in the entire world because
Yeah.
every metal band wants the
Hard.
hardcore crowd
They
to
want the
pit.
reaction of a hardcore band.
Exactly. Like you exactly. Like every metal band wants the reaction of a hardcore band and every hardcore band wants to talk about suffocation.
Yes.
So it's like doing
Entombed. Let's
yeah,
just talk about
Entombed,
Entombed.
talk about like Cannibal Corpse. Like
Come on.
everybody, like every hardcore band ever loves Dying Fetus.
That is
But
the
like
hardcore band. They're like
that's
Patient Zero. You can't convince me otherwise.
dude, I had a really interesting conversation with somebody like a couple weeks ago because of like Dying Fetus on FYA,
Mm-hmm.
where he talked about bands like Gates to Hell or like Sanguisugabogg or
I'm
200
wearing
Stab
a
Wounds,
Gates to
like
Hell shirt right now.
that shout out Gates to Hell. They came to Halifax recently too, and they were
Fucking sick band. I love them.
unbelievable band. Bands like that kind of new wave, like hardcore leaning death metal stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff picked up so much steam so fast, and that those bands literally are Dying Fetus.
Yeah.
And watching the reaction for Dying Fetus at FYA was it got me so giddy because it was like a room full of people that already liked Dying Fetus. They just didn't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And like watching people's faces as like the mosh riffs and like Dying Fetus songs happen. And I'm just like, yeah, this is perfect.
Dog, the first time I saw Dying Fetus, I went to it was with Cryptopsy.
Mhm.
So I went to go see Cryptopsy for the first time. If you haven't seen Cryptopsy, go see fucking Cryptopsy. Holy shit. But Dying Fetus was headlining. Oh my God. When I saw that, because I hadn't listening to them is kind of tricky for me. Like I don't love listening to death metal a lot because it's kind of repetitive. I have ADD. It's hard for me to like connect. But when I saw them, I looked at my wife who loves Dying Fetus and I was like, this is a hardcore band. And she was like, yeah. And then I saw them again with Terror and Knocked Loose. And I'm like, point proven.
Like that's got to be an all timer, right?
Terror, Knocked Loose, and Dying Fetus.
Yeah. Like I like looking at it from like a cultural shift perspective.
Dude, Omerta opened that show.
Jesus Christ.
It was like 6 dates, and Montreal was one of them.
That's nuts.
People aren't even ready. I don't think people are ready for Omerta.
That band,
I've seen them 4 times.
4 times?
Yeah.
So they come through a lot, do they?
They came through like in 1 year. They came through like 3 or 4 times.
Phew.
Yeah.
That's badass.
They played one headliner, but yeah, it was sick. I love that band.
That band is wild, but I know what you're saying. Like that band can be one of those things that's like if you're not like walking into it ready for what it is, it can be sort of jarring. But I'm with you. I think that band's dope.
It's just so much.
It's a lot. It's a lot going on in that one. Like,
I've never seen a band that's tighter to tracks live though.
Really?
Yeah, they played a track.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like they'd have to, right? Like
it's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't remember where we were going with that.
I don't remember anything.
The loyalty thing with Halifax being loyal, Maritimes being loyal to bands.
Yeah,
that's something that Liam from Cancer Bats has mentioned. I think that's why he lives in Dartmouth now. And and then I think Chase from Comeback Kid had also mentioned like Comeback Kid playing the Maritimes like pretty frequently a few years.
Comeback Kid's playing here with Spy.
So it is on that run
next month. Yeah. Which is
are y'all gonna open that show? I feel like y'all are the only band that would.
No, we're not opening that one. So there's a band from here called Thousand Knives. Shout out Thousand Knives.
Oh, yo.
Shout out Heather Drake. Shout out Ian. Shout out Tucker. That band's heavy as shit. And they like that. I think like Thousand Knives is probably like in my opinion like the band right now. Like in Halifax, like they just put out an LP that we did together. Like fuck, when did that? I don't know when that LP came out, but actually, funny you mentioned Liam because Liam put that record out on Bat Skull. I think fucking I don't remember. I think is it Mikey that runs that label with Liam, like the drummer.
I am not sure. The drummer from Edmonton or from Winnipeg, or he lives in like
he lives out that way. Yeah,
he lives in the prairie.
I've been told the other person who the other person is like 100 times, and I am still blanking right now. I'm so sorry, but like yeah, I think Thousand Knives is playing that show, but I actually don't know if I'm realizing as I say this that I don't actually think that got announced yet.
Well, the cat's out of the bag on that one.
So Thousand Knives. I'm so sorry. Justin, I'm so sorry.
Thousand Knives. Let's see if the LP did come out.
Oh, the LP came out, but I don't know if it's announced that they're on that gig.
Oh shit. Yeah, the LP's out for sure.
So if this comes out before that announcement comes out, I accept I fucked up.
It's okay. That just means ticket sales will be better.
Ticket sales will go way up. Ticket sales are through the roof.
Yeah.
Other like Thousand Knives, Hell's Reach.
Hell's Reach is sick. Hell's Reach is deathcore as fuck.
Crazy. That band is wild.
Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Necro Hall.
Oh, Necro, the Moncton.
That shit's
That
crazy.
that shit's crazy. That is like deathcore.
I love it.
The first time I saw that band play, I like that's one of the only bands that's ever played before us that I was watching, and I was like, okay, so like we're fucked then. Like there's no way we could follow this, right? Like they are like inhumanly tight. And they're like pretty new too. Like they like a year maybe. They've maybe been putting music out for longer than that, but they've just started playing shows like relatively recently. Um and they're animals. They're inhuman. Um Jackson from Cancer Bats, his brother Jonah plays drums in that band. And I knew Jonah not like super well, but I knew Jonah kind of peripherally from just like playing shows in like Moncton at Zeros for ever like since it opened. And Jonah is like the quietest, like gentlest person you've ever met in your life. And then when I found out they were playing drums in a deathcore band, I was like, oh, we're talking about the same person?
It's
Like,
always
and
the quiet
then
ones.
it's always quiet ones. And then I watched them play, and it's just like a fucking machine gun. It's like a laser, and I'm like, this crazy,
I'm excited to see that live.
crazy, crazy. They're dope as hell. Shout out Neck Roll, shout out Hell's Reach, shout out fucking Breakneck, shout out fucking like Jesus Christ. There's so many bands now. Like I could sit here, like
Convulsion is like, I'm trying to find their music.
I don't know if they actually have anything out yet, but like shout out the kids in Convulsion. Convulsion. There's a few bands like popping up right now that are like they're like kids, man. Like I
Mhm.
like in a way that like I haven't. I'm so used to seeing bands like new bands pop up, and it's just like a different combination
Of 30
of
year olds.
30-year-olds. But
Yeah.
Radstorm I think is like is a beautiful only all ages venue with it's like the perfect all ages venue for a city to have
Mhm.
because that place is like they do not give a fuck like who you are in or in any capacity. Like what they care about is giving people the platform to actually make authentic art regardless of what that art actually or sorry regardless of who the artist actually is. And so I think
Mhm.
about and I think about bands like Convulsion. I think about bands like Bloodprint. There's like bands like Sig Sauer. Like there's a bunch of bands.
Sig Sauer,
Sig Sauer, brother.
like the
Th-
gun brand.
yeah, like the bands from Halifax that are they're like 16, 17, like 15-year-old kids, dude. And they're coming to these shows and they're playing these shows because Lucas and all the other people who work at Ratstorm, like they're actually giving them a platform to be themselves in a way that encourages them to pursue making art for art's sake and not
Mhm.
just like art as a you know a commodity or something like that. So Convulsion is playing the show with us with the both of us, and they bring out like so many just like younger people who I'm sure in like 10 years are going to be like when we're all old and dusty and fucking can't go to these tiny little rooms to beat each other up anymore. Like those kids are going to be the ones doing it, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like all ages music is like a dying it's like a dying art, isn't it? You know,
And we don't have
like
it. We have almost none in Montreal. So shout out Destiny for doing as much as she can to do it through
yeah,
Be
yeah.
About It.
Yeah, I saw
Like
that all ages Be About It show. That sold out, didn't it? Eh?
it was beyond capacity,
Oh, really?
beyond.
That's dope.
It was packed.
Yeah.
And then she's got another one coming up April that hasn't been announced, but it's in
Yeah.
April. I just had to think about it for a second, and it's gonna be sick because
Yeah.
there's gonna be like it's a super show, so it's gonna be a matinee at a different venue, and then there's an all ages show right after that one.
Oh, I think I saw. I saw the little like
The teaser.
the teaser. Yeah, I saw the
Yeah.
teaser for that.
Yeah. April 27th.
Yeah. Is Alec have something to do with that
Alec
too?
do have something to do. As Alec and John are booking like the matinee, and then
'Cause
Destiny's doing
they're doing like a promotion thing now too, right? What's that called again? It's
Into
like
the Ether.
Into the Ether. Right, right, right. Yeah, no, that's gonna be dope as hell.
Yeah. So that's John
Like
and Alec.
John and Alec. Hell yeah. Shout out John and Alec. That's-
Yo, John's one that stayed during, you talk about the dark ages. We had
yeah,
that
yeah.
in Montreal as well, 2015 to like 2019 or
Yeah.
pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
John was one of the ones that was like still playing in bands and like trying to go to shows and stuff, but was also
Mhm.
playing in Mundy's Bay. So was like softy post punk.
Staying about it. Staying for it.
You got to be profitable, but you also have to, be a part of it.
Be there. Yeah, no, it's funny to me to think even like I guess it does make sense that like all ages music would be kind of a struggling like a struggling art like all over the place. But I think about it's crazy because I think about cities like Montreal or Toronto or like kind of big cities like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so unfathomable to me that like what we experience down here is just it's the same shit as everywhere else. It's like everyone's living the same life. Like,
Well, debatably, I think that a smaller city is more accessible because everybody kind of knows each other. So it's easier
yeah,
to find those people where you're like, can I have a show here at your cafe?
yeah, yeah,
And when
yeah.
in like a Montreal, people are a little more like, oh, it's red tape or like the government, could shut it down or like,
Interesting.
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's more hoops to jump through because like Sauterania is probably one of the only places that will let us do all ages.
Okay.
And they don't do it super frequently because they don't make as much in bar sales.
Oh, so like, it is a bar?
They have a bar. It's very small,
Okay.
but they basically they put indicators like on like I think like if the person's underage, then they'll do like a mark or something and say
Oh,
like don't
okay.
serve
Yeah,
this
yeah.
person, or
I
they
went.
they give them like a drinking bracelet.
Okay. I went to maybe don't quote me on this because I'm not 100% sure if I'm like just like lying to you, but this is my memory of it. I went to a show. I saw a fucking uh some it was like Gasm. Um, that band Wax might have played that.
Okay,
But like um for a Cool Move 2019, I had a place called Castle Popola.
yeah, it's across the street.
Um, and I feel like I remember there being a similar setup for that, but I might be full of shit.
Man, Cass is so small. They can't believe they had a fest there.
Dude, dude, I loved that place when
Me
I
too.
went there, man. Like it's like the perfect room.
It's
Like
so narrow.
perfect. It's perfect.
I try to tell
Um,
people, I was like, for hardcore, it's so cool. And they're like,
yeah.
no, there's no room to mosh. I'm like, exactly. It's scary.
No room to mosh, but mosh anyway is like the biggest vibe maybe
Yeah.
on the planet.
Yep.
Like,
Make room. Make room.
yeah, yeah. The Rad Storm's very similar where it is a very, very narrow room, but it is a very long room. So oftentimes if you're doing like Rad Storm, you can like look up and it feels well, first of all, you feel like you're in fucking Van Halen because you just can't see the end of like the people. Like because it's just so long, but it feels like infinite pit.
Right.
And that I have a deep affinity for venues that feel like infinite pit
Hmm.
because it's just so narrow that if there's only like even if there's only like 10 people doing it, it's like they're the only 10 people you can see.
Right.
So like, you know,
I love that. I love floor shows too. So I don't know if I'm the only person that loves floor shows, but ever since I started playing, like my local DIY was floor.
yeah.
So,
Floor shows, they got a charm.
mhm.
I'd rather do like a really, really small kind of like floor show than play like in a like a fucking arena or something like
Yeah.
that, you know? Like,
Like everybody's on the same level. Everybody's equal. Like
yeah.
let's Let's do it.
Yeah. It's just like super chill. Everyone's there for the same reason.
Hmm.
They're like no more than 5 inches away from your face, and at any point you might get a tooth knocked out because someone bumps into the microphone. But like,
It's happened to me.
it's a lot of fun. Does that happen to you?
Not microphone, but I was at a floor show and like I was moshing and like somebody kind of blindsided. Like I didn't
Ooh.
see them, and I have like half of my tooth was cracked off.
That shit has gotta hurt, right?
It didn't feel great.
Didn't feel. Oh,
That
it
was when I was like 16
unpleasant.
or 17.
Jeez, I have a really strange memory. When I was in like elementary school, I got really into like jump rope.
Mm,
Like big. I watched that. You know that movie Jump In with the guy from High School Musical where he does double dutch.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah. I got really into that movie Jump In. And I got really into like jumping rope and shit, and doing like tricks with the on the look getting a little stylish on it. I
Oh yeah.
getting a little stylish on it. And this story doesn't. This is a stupid thing, but I was practicing a wicked cool, really impressive like double under jump rope thing when I was
Right.
like 10 or 11 or something like that. And the way my like the playground at my old elementary school was laid out, there was like a corner, like a blind corner, and these two kids were running opposite directions like at the same time. And in front of me they hit each other, and one kid's tooth got like lodged in the other kid's forehead. This is a bad story. I
That's
don't know why I'm
sick.
telling this.
I love that.
I remember Jump In anyway. This guy's tooth got fucked up.
Did you see this scar? It sounds like it scarred you for life.
I was quite frankly, I was just trying to practice my double unders,
That's
and
like a Mick Foley moment.
I wonder if I could still do that.
No,
I
I mean
think
like a tooth being lodged somewhere where it shouldn't be.
oh yeah.
Like a Hell in a
That's
Cell, like Mick Foley, like Mankind versus Undertaker.
oh yeah. Did you watch the Royal Rumble that just happened?
No,
No.
because I
It,
don't really know anyone who participated, to be fair.
well, I see. I'm in the same boat as you, but we've got a bunch of homies, specifically Liam from again a band called Hell's Reach, who's like really like into wrestling. Shout out Liam, um, who like anytime there's like WrestleMania or like Royal Rumble and shit like that, they always host like parties
That's sick.
to all get together. So I went and watched the Royal Rumble. It's the first time I've watched it, honestly, maybe in my life. But like, but I have a newfound appreciation for the like the commentators on those things. Like they're so quick on the mic, and
Mhm.
they're so theatrical. Like I love it. Like Bobby Lashley came out, and I remember him because I had the demo for WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2008 on the Xbox 360. It was, it was
Holy shit.
um Bobby Lashley was one of the playable characters in the demo for WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2008 on the Xbox 360. And so when Bobby Lashley came out, I was like, "Oh my God, I know one. I know one." And then I shit you not, like within 45 seconds, Buddy was getting catapulted into another dimension.
Yeah.
And the commentators were so funny. Like they were so angry that this guy just took the tank of a person, by the way, and just gone.
Sometimes I watch and I'm like, how are they spinning that much body weight? Like this dude is smaller.
Yeah,
The athleticism.
yeah. Straight up, like I can't even begin to fathom that.
Best
Like
Royal Rumble is 1992 though.
92.
Yeah.
I should watch.
Ric
So you're saying
Flair.
I should watch that? Oh, did you see the Iron Claw?
No. Okay. No, not yet. I'm waiting for it. So I don't like going to the theater anymore.
Yeah,
I don't like that I can't pause the movie to go pee. I
fair.
don't like that I can't wear my pajamas.
Yeah,
I don't like that there's other people that I don't know around me.
yeah. That's totally valid.
Like You're in public, have some manners. I watch movies at home now because my home setup is fine.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the Iron Claw to come out on streaming, and then I'm going to watch it. But sorry, just to tack on, Jeremy Allen White is the hunkiest man.
Oh my God, dude. And it's crazy too, because the three lead actors who play those three, like the three brothers, they're all massive.
Yeah.
Like they look incredible.
Jacked.
They look incredible. If you saw Zac Efron, you must have seen Zac Efron in that movie. He looks fucked. Like
I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get the Zac Efron. Like Zac Efron hit me up, trained me. I'm trying to get the bod.
Shout out Zac Efron.
Because shout out Zac Efron, big fan. Fan of the show. No.
Yeah, please.
No, I'm a big High School Musical fan, so I've been following Zac Efron.
What a film. What a film that is.
It's great, right?
I have a copy of High School Musical 2 on DVD in this place somewhere.
The High School Musical trilogy is severely underrated.
It is. It never really got its due, you know? Like it was really big. It was like a flash in the pan when it originally came out. And then they all went on to do just slightly more successful things. Like 17 again is the one that comes to mind for me. Like Zac Efron.
Rest in peace, Matthew Perry.
Shout out Matthew Perry.
Gone too soon.
Straight up. That was anyway, yeah. So and then 17 again came out, and it just like eclipsed High School Musical. No one wanted to talk about it, but nobody wanted to talk about High School Musical anymore because they were all talking about Zac Efron twirling the ball on his finger, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like you hear this man sing?
I'm just gonna tell you that's a common play in my house. It is High School Musical.
That's like a good like comfort thing.
Me and my wife do sing-alongs.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
I don't care. People want to throw shade. If you want to judge, High School Musical is dope.
No, be yourself. Be yourself. Unapologetically, be yourself.
We've got some stuff. Pale Ache's got some stuff.
Me too.
Mourning As a Metaphor LP.
Yep.
Mixed, recorded in-house by Toi.
Me. Yep.
Sounds fucking great. I love that you ride for metalcore, which is sick. I won't throw your Instagram in here. I think you'll get tagged so people will know. But yeah, Mourning As a Metaphor LP sounds fucking awesome. I loved being able to hear that live for like the first time, very last minute in the release show that you guys jumped on with us, which was very sick. The super show, so to speak.
The 6-band bill. Yeah.
Was it 6 or 7 by the end of it?
It was 6. I think it was gonna be 7.
It was supposed to be 7.
And then somebody had to drop, so we ended up being 6.
Yes.
Shout out you for letting us do that. Like that was maybe like the nicest thing any band has ever done for us ever. Like literally days before the show, just being like, yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, it was like there was a lot of things playing in because at first it was like there's too many bands. I don't know if we're gonna be able to swing it. And then when the whole other show kind of like they folded it up, I don't know. And then like basically we like kind of felt bad because it was y'all's first Montreal show, and who you play with in Montreal for your first show is very important. I'm just going to be very word to the wise to anyone listening. If you want to play Montreal, send me a message. I'll tell you who to play with. It's very important who you play with for your first show because like draw in band, like there's a lot of people who follow there's like mini scenes in the hardcore scene. That's how big Montreal is. And so I was very happy that y'all's first show was like on that, like on our bill.
That was one of the craziest like feelings ever, was just like being in that room for the first time. I've been watching videos of that place since I was like a kid. And again, like we were so ready to have an off day. And I don't know if we told you this at the show or not, but we were going to come to that show anyway because we were like, we're here. like we're here and we like a bunch of these bands, like not a bunch of all these bands that are playing. So we're gonna, if we have an off day, we're just gonna come to the show anyway. And you guys and shout out Tony, shout out Max, like shout out like MTL Hardcore Collective as a unit, like for actually like being the chillest about that.
Because now y'all playing
Like,
Madhouse.
yeah, that's some shit, huh?
That's crazy.
That's some shit. Like that is that's when it that's in like 5 days, 4 or 5 days at the time
Literally,
that
this
we're doing this.
episode is going to come out like the day Madhouse starts.
Wild.
Yeah.
That I mean, I still go through phases with like the Madhouse, where I have trouble even like computing that it's happening,
Mhm.
you know? Like I'm like because we got asked to do it, or like we knew we were doing it, I think in November,
Okay.
I think, is when we found like we got word that like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this. And ever since then, the way my brain is so improperly wired, um, the entire time up until the announcement, I'm like, well, maybe it's happening, maybe it's not. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. You
Right.
know, like, hey, one sec, my cat is stuck in a box here. Hey, buddy, you stuck?
There's a second cat. Oh my God.
Yes, I got two of them. They're brothers, and this guy's stuck in a box. One
Because
sec.
one of the brothers was
Hey,
very clingy.
hey, come here, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're. I got two of them. They're brothers. I've had them since you could pick them both up like in the palm of your hand, and now they're 13 pounds each.
They're cute brother boys. They're fluffy boys.
They're the big fellas. But anyway, sorry. Yeah. The whole time leading up to the announcement, I was like, when I see our name on the thing, I'll believe it's happening. But up until
Right.
then, I'm gonna live in a constant state of anxiety that like maybe something fell through,
Mhm.
or like, you know, something like that. Like, you know, maybe something like out of everyone's control. Like they couldn't get everyone on, something like that. But I'm also the type of person that like when I was like 6 years old, I'd wake up on Christmas and I'd be like, hey, I hope the whole world's not playing a prank on me.
Oh yeah.
Like, so,
I feel that.
you know, like the local
Nothing's
news reporters.
The nothing is guaranteed. It's like a Truman Show style.
Yeah, straight up. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm really excited for that. Like, I think that's going to be some crazy shit. Like every single band playing that is absolutely wild.
All this to say, very excited to see you guys at Madhouse, like literally this week, like in 5 days, and then or 6 days anyway. And in the Maritimes, like almost right after, like less than a month after.
Less than a month after.
We're less than a month away today.
Are we actually? What's today? The
Today
17th?
is the last date. Today is the St. John's in a month.
Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be sick. So
It's gonna be wild. I'm super excited. You guys get to come down and like kind of the peak of like Halifax heavy.
it's gonna be
Cannot
sick.
fucking wait to see you guys at the big room in Postman, like that. Watching you guys in the cabaret room was like maybe one of the sickest experiences I've ever had watching a band.
Mhm.
Like
Are you wait?
like
So y'all are coming Thursday as well?
oh yeah, we're coming the whole time.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay, we'll have the
We're
hangs.
Oh yeah, straight up. There's no Donair, so we'll have to figure out substitution, but
Poutine.
Yeah. I, yeah.
We
So for
have
some
that.
reason it just like my whole brain just blanked on like, you know, they got shit in Quebec that's like, you know,
Just
do
watch
they have
Anthony
like
Bourdain.
they got regional food in Quebec as if it's literally not like the most famous food
Can,
province like in the
Canadian
entire country.
food
Like,
capital.
so, like straight up.
But yeah, it's gonna be sick. So super pumped to do all of this within like the next month. It's gonna be so fun.
I can't wait.
But Mikey, thank you so much for chilling. Thanks for hanging out. I'm trying to do this like normally, but all I can see is this image that you get stuck on.
What if that's just how I was standing the whole time?
That would be sick. How you're not moving your mouth on the video, but your mouth is moving like a
It's an illusion.
reverse ventriloquism.
It's all an illusion. Hey, listen, thank you.
Yo, before we go, let me know your favorite city for beans and breakdowns.
My favorite city,
Yeah,
Montreal.
that's dope.
Montreal, come on, like that's the peak, right?
You're just
Like
saying that because
that's
you're gonna be here in a week.
no. Yeah, my video's frozen, but I swear to God, hand on the heart, like Montreal is consistently our favorite place to be, like in the entire country for like food, coffee, bands. Like it's the dopest shit, and like celebrating that with you guys, celebrating that with everybody next week is going to be one of the most special experiences. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment. Montreal's my favorite city too. I'm just happy.
Shout out
I
Montreal.
shout out Montreal as a whole, just everybody here. But yeah, Mikey, thank you so much.
Grayson, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you very soon.
I'll be seeing you very soon. I can't wait to see you. It was amazing talking to you today. I had a lot of fun doing
Likewise.
this. Thank you so much for asking me. Like this has been dope.
I figured it was kismet. I don't know if I just used that word correctly. I don't know what that word means
I
totally.
don't know. I guess
But
time will tell.
enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Yes, you too, buddy. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Mikey for hanging out on the podcast. Be sure to check out Pale Ache's newest releases. Follow them on all social media. They have music on all listening platforms. Give it a spin. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.